Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net, and let's talk about something that I don't talk about very often, which is the DC Extended Universe. Now, I've made it clear on this channel that I enjoy superhero movies, but I find it increasingly harder to love them. There are exceptions. I really liked the Batman, the Reeves Batman. I, of course, have always sung praises about The Dark Knight, Superman the movie, and I've liked Wonder Woman and Guardians of the Galaxy. I really do. In fact, most of the Marvel and DC movies get 3 to 3.5 stars. It's not like I'm giving 1 stars to everything. Although the DCEU has been problematic. I did not like Man of Steel. I did not like Batman v Superman. My chinchilla is just about to run on her wheel, so if you hear that, I'm sorry. And here's the thing. I recently saw Black Adam, and it was okay. Not great. That's probably a 2.5-star movie, but spoiler alert, although I think you all know this by now, during the mid-credit scene, Henry Cavill, who had not been playing Superman for quite a while, actually ended up donning the cape again and making a cameo, basically setting up a team-up movie in the future. However, you may have heard that there was a big merger recently with Warner Bros. And Discovery. Now it's called Warner Bros. Discovery, and David Zaslav has hired James Gunn as one of 2 people to basically reshape DC going forward. Now, one of the things that got canceled is Wonder Woman 3, which really breaks my heart because I actually like both of the Wonder Woman movies. And so there was some question whether or not Black Adam would get a sequel, whether or not the DCEU would continue as it is, and we at least got an answer on Superman. This comes from Henry Cavill's Instagram page. He wrote this statement: "I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October, prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. For those who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember, Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all. Onwards and upwards." And James Gunn then basically did a follow-up, and we're not going to show that screenshot, where he basically commits that, yeah, we are working on Superman. It's a priority, but it's going to be a new Superman. Basically, they're going to reboot the entire DCEU. So that's why Wonder Woman 3 was canceled. That's why there won't be any more Aquaman movies. And, of course, The Flash probably was in jeopardy anyway, because Ezra Miller is one of the few actors I can legitimately call problematic from a marketing and studio perspective. Now, here's the thing. You might have been looking at this title and wondering what it's about. Like, if I really don't care that Henry Cavill is leaving Superman, why am I making this video? Well, here's the catch. I do mean that, with Henry Cavill leaving Superman, I could care less, but it's not Henry Cavill I could care less about. I actually thought he was really good in the role. I could now care less about this whole DC Universe reboot, because this is one of the things that's becoming a problem with movies, especially when you have studios that all they want are franchises and universes. Basically, they make those movies until they're either not profitable, or they just want to change things up, or they feel like they are not making the money they should be making, and then the series is dropped abruptly, and the whole thing is started all over again. It started out as kind of like a funny thing. Like, I remember after Ang Lee's Hulk didn't do very well at the box office, and they decided to reboot the movie the franchise, I should say, after 1 movie. And people kind of joke well, that seems a little extreme, but it didn't stop there. Superman Returns, which was not a great movie, I will admit, got rebooted after 1 movie. And here's the thing, when they do that, it's it's annoying because it's like, think about it. That's 2.5 hours of your life you're not going to get back. And there's unresolved cliffhangers and everything, the things that they're setting up. And it's annoying. But now we probably have the ultimate hubris. And that is that basically all of the DCEU is going to be scrapped and it's going to start over. There's no more Henry Cavill as Superman. Obviously, Ben Affleck's not back as Batman. Ezra Miller was probably fired from being the Flash already, but there you go. Gal Gadot, not being Wonder Woman. And Jason Momoa, no more Aquaman. And obviously, Ryan Reynolds doesn't want to do Green Lantern anymore. But think about it. How many years of movies is this? It's kind of scary to think about when Man of Steel came out. I think Man of Steel came out in 2009 or 2008, something like that. It's been a long time. We've had more than 10 years of DC movies. And some of them were good, some of them were not so good. But here's the thing. They were always building, always going towards something. And it's frustrating because it's like, you know what? I just spent 10 years watching these DC movies. And they were admittingly of mixed quality, but I am invested in these actors. I am invested in some of these storylines. I certainly want to see more Shazam with Zachary Levi. And I was even liking Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I was kind of surprised how much I enjoyed Aquaman, considering his appearance in Justice League was not exactly inspiring. So there is history with these characters and these actors. And I've spent 10 years and there's no resolution to any of this now. None whatsoever. They couldn't make one more movie to basically wrap it up and put like a final bow on the whole thing. Nope, everything just stops and we're rebooting and we're going forward. This is why Henry Cavill leaving means I could care less. I could seriously just care less about the DCEU going forward. My chinchilla's just going crazy. I'm sorry, folks. And this is kind of like a big thing about the Marvel movies. I mean, Avengers Endgame felt like a very good place to end all of this. Like, hey, you had a very successful run. Take a break. You can take 5 years off. It's not going to kill you. And if you want to start over and start a new universe or whatever, you can do it then. Instead, they just keep slogging it through. And while I don't think the Marvel movies are going to be rebooted anytime soon, let's face it, it can happen. It can absolutely happen. And the DC situation is just proving that. I don't know how I'm supposed to get excited about something. Because here's the thing. What happens if James Gunn and Peter Safran get through 3, 4, 5, 6 films? What if what they have planned doesn't work out the way they want? What if they don't hit that every movie's $1 billion film or whatever it is that David Zaslav wants from them? Are they going to just stop the series and reboot it again? Like, do they realize how asinine this is? This is not only 10 years of DC movies. This is like hours upon hours of content. We have paid money. We have sat through it. And it's just ridiculous. Now, I don't want to become one of these fanboys. I don't want you to misunderstand me. I'm not giving here saying let's restore the Snyderverse. I'm not sitting here saying fans know best. I mean, here's the thing. The Snyder cut of Justice League might be better, but it wasn't like a masterpiece by any means. It was pretty good compared to what came before. I'm just asking why. Why do I want to keep watching these stinking reboots when you can't take the time to finish anything? You can't finish anything. Like, how many years before this thing gets rebooted and it's going to have an open-ended, ending again, if you will. Like, because all these movies are not built to be standalone. They're always hinting at the next thing. And the thing is, I remember when James Bond was rebooted, with Casino Royale technically, and Judi Dench was still playing M. Why can't you keep some of these people? I know it's like, brand confusion, but it's like, what's really confusing is basically just stopping mid-series and starting over. So, here's the thing. They're going to do what they're going to do. And who knows, maybe the new Superman movie will be awesome. I don't know. But at this point, I could really care less. I'm just done with reboots. Honestly, I'd rather they just stop making DC movies for 5 or 6 years. Give me a chance to recoup. And then come back and give it like a real shot instead of doing this whole like, oh, we're going to reboot it again. Because apparently we can't do anything else but reboot superheroes. Anyway, my pet's making recording this video very difficult, so we are going to wrap this up. I'd like to know what you think about all this, though. Do you think this is a good thing? Maybe you have a different opinion. Are you excited about the reboot? I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.